everybody, and welcome to the Bruce Scott Show. If you turned into my first episode, I had left a teaser at the end of that episode stating that the next video was going to be an election special. Unfortunately, some information has come to light, so I felt I needed to bring this information to you now. So this is a special report by the Bruce Scott Show. The Zika virus. I'm sure most of you have heard about it by now. It's been widely publicized. But as usual, the mainstream media has not given you the entire story. When this story was first being reported, and even recently how it's been reported, all of the emphasis has been on how it affects pregnant women and newborn babies. And while this is of course very important, they didn't bother to tell us the effect it could have on adults. Zika can cause paralysis and even death. The CDC states that the Zika virus is strongly associated with something called Guillain-Barré syndrome, or GBS. What is GBS? In short, what happens is the Zika virus causes the immune system to attack your nervous system, sometimes resulting in neurological disorders, memory loss, and paralysis, and even death. This video is from the BBC.
This is creeping paralysis. Imagine losing control over the muscles in your body. You can't even blink. And she's not alone. Cucuta in tropical Colombia is at the center of a 21st century plague. And the suspected cause is the Zika virus. You can see restraints on the patient's arms. His name is Edwin, and the oxygen pipe there is feeding oxygen into his lungs because he can't breathe on his own. That's how bad it gets.
Science News reports that 5% of people that develop Guillain-Barré syndrome die from it. 80% are still afflicted with the ramifications of this syndrome for 1 year after contracting it, and still others are dealing with the fallout from GBS for several years after contracting it. And once again, our government dropped the ball on properly containing this potential epidemic. As early as last spring, it was reported how widely spread this virus was becoming. And our government, instead of just talking about being careful of where to travel and not to travel, should have restricted travel altogether, or at the very least, when somebody came back into this country, they should have been tested for the Zika virus and properly quarantined. But of course, that didn't happen. This little mosquito couldn't just fly across the Atlantic and land here. It needed a way to get here. And we gave it the opportunity to get here. Once the people came into the country with the virus already, all that had to happen was a local mosquito bite that person and transmit it to somebody else. And now it's here, and now it's growing, and now it's a problem. I don't want to say a big problem, but it's certainly a problem. Now the numbers are relatively low, but it's still information that I think you should have been armed with. I think we all should have been armed with. The mainstream media did not cover this aspect of the Zika virus, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if they didn't want to start a mass hysteria. I don't think this kind of information would do that. And I don't know if I really care what their motivation was in not bringing us this information. The important thing is we're entitled to know such things. The media has spent the last 2 weeks talking about idiot swimmer Ryan Lochte and if he lied at the Olympics and what that all meant for him. But we couldn't have a detailed conversation about all of the effects of the Zika virus. I don't understand that.
This is a map of the areas where the Zika virus has been found. The vast majority of cases have been from people traveling outside the country and returning to the U.S. The Miami area, however, has had 30 locally spread cases of Zika.
And it is something we all need to keep our eye on. Now, what can you do? There's not a lot in the way of prevention that you can do. You can restrict how much you go out at night, wear long sleeve pants, wear long sleeve shirts, use insect repellent, make sure there's no stagnant water anywhere pooling around your house. And additionally, you can keep pressure on your local representatives to make sure that they're staying on top of this problem. In the final analysis, I would just like to say that you have to be careful about accepting the narrative that is given by the mainstream media. It just seems far too often that they're not giving you the complete story. They're deciding for you what you need to know. They're deciding for you what you can handle. How dare they? Real media should cover every angle of the story, have complete disclosure, and stay away from any type of hidden agendas. Now, I'm not a big conspiracy kind of guy, but this kind of stuff, when it's not represented properly, can have serious ramifications. Please educate yourself, stay aware, and take care. And if you'd like to see the entire clip by the BBC, please go to this link. And if you have any comments, anything to add to this discussion, let me know. We'll put it on air, we'll discuss it some more, and we'll get the information out there. This has been a special report by the Bruce Scott Show.